Hello, my name is Al-Tamimi. I am in cohort 19 at the Guildhall at SMU. Today I will be teaching you how to import textures into the UDK engine. First thing you want to do is open up Photoshop. As you can see, I've already created a basic texture for a crystal. First, what you want to do is make sure that your image is in RGB color and 8 bits per channel. This will enable you to save the image as a targa. Now, one thing about targas is they allow for alpha channels. This is quite useful in game engines because it allows you to throw another channel into the texture that can be used either as a specular channel, it could be used as an alpha map, or it could also even be used as an indicator of where to put custom color schemes. In this particular case, I am going to use the alpha channel as a specular channel. Now, as you can see, this Photoshop file looks alright right now. But we can't just save this as a PSD and use it in UDK without running into a couple problems with efficiency. So what you want to do is save the image out. Go File, Save As. I'm going to select Targa. This is my favorite format to work with. I'm going to make sure Alpha Channels is selected because it enables the alpha channels to exist in the texture when I export it. So I'm going to go ahead and press save because this is the name I want to have it. I'm going to make sure it's 32 bits per channel since I do have an alpha channel. If I do not have an alpha channel, then I would select 24 bits per pixel. I'm going to press OK, and this will save the texture. Next, I'm going to open up the UDK engine, and I'm going to import the texture. I'm going to open up the content browser and press the import button. I'm going to locate my texture, and I'm going to press open. Now, what I want to do is save this into a package. In this case, I'm going to call the package tutorial. I already created a package earlier, so I'm just going to select that. I could, if I wanted to, make a custom grouping for the textures, but I don't want to since there's only one texture right now. There's various options, like this changes how the texture is blended when you import it. Compression settings, you don't really want to mess with this in general if you are importing a diffuse map, but if you were importing normal map, then you would select TC underscore normal map. I'm just going to leave it on TC underscore default for now. And I am pretty happy with the settings right now, so I'm just going to press OK. This means that I didn't fully load the package yet, so I'm just going to press yes. As you can see, I already imported my mesh into UDK, and it's in this package. So in order to assign a texture to a mesh, I first have to create a material. So I right click, left click, new material, and I'm going to call this tutorial underscore crystal underscore matte, and I'm going to press OK. Now the material editor has just popped up. I'm going to left click my texture, hold the left mouse button, and drag it into this workspace. If I want to move this around in the workspace, I just left click it, hold Control, and I can move it around. If I right click, I can pan. And one thing I want to do first is left click the diffuse tab and click and hold until I reach this black spot. This uses RG and B when I select the black square. This is just the red channel, this is green channel, this is blue, and this is the alpha channel. Since I'm using my specular as my alpha channel, I'm going to click and hold and drag it here. So now you can see that there is some shininess to the texture. I can't really tell what this would look like on the crystal, so I'm going to left click on my static mesh, and then I'm going to hit this green arrow to use the selected static mesh in my preview. I can right click and hold to pan in and out, left click and hold to rotate the mesh. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to press this green check mark and call this material good. I'm going to close out my material editor, double click on the tutorial crystal mesh, and make sure this LOD info tab is expanded. I'm going to make sure that 0, since there is only one LOD mesh on this model, is expanded. And under elements, there is material equals none. There are a couple ways that you can assign a material to this mesh. You can either search for it in the content browser, or you can left click the material and then left click this green arrow to assign this. I'm going to close this out, and then when I drag my crystals in, they're in the scene with the material assigned. I'm going to right click and save the package, and I'm going to save my level. I'm just going to call this tutorial level. And when I hit play, I have it in my scene. Thank you for listening. This was Hamid Al-Tamimi, and I hope this tutorial was useful.